Hello.
Recording in progress.
Mute. Can you hear me, Kyle? Well, Sue's got her iPad on, and I can hear myself coming back through that.
I muted.
Can you hear us now?
You got us? Okay, I'll get off.
Yes, I hear you.
He's not on the screen yet, we didn't hear him.
I apologize, everybody.
No problems. Gives me time to read what I'm looking at here. So what, this is all we're gonna see is you?
I don't know.
Can you see the meeting room, Rick, or?
Nope, I just see me and two blocks.
All right, well, we can hear you really good, but we don't, where's Marcy at?
You hit the camera, looks like your camera's shut off down there at the bottom. on your
Yeah, cause it's putting right at me, and I don't want that.
Well, you gotta have this on to go.
Let's put the camera around.
We'll get there.
That's what Sharon did last month.
Any better, Rick?
Well, I can see Kathy and Paul over there,
Good enough.
Carrie.
Good enough, you can see. We'll go with that.
We back to attendance again.
We got Rick's here. Okay, we're gonna go on with public comment.
So anyway, the only comment I have is to ensure that most of the language that was sent up to the attorney from the Water Advisory Committee gets compared to what's come down, because obviously we've already talked about part of this, there are some discrepancies in the language. Words added, positions added where there wasn't any, and that's the only comment I've got. I hope you guys can figure it out.
And that's why it came back to, when I talked to the council at the last council meeting, when they were supposed to go over this, that was why it's back here, and that's why we're holding the special meeting
Exactly. Yep.
to do it, so.
Yep.
So in our original draft we got from Petra, the first time is what it should be. The other one that we just got from Kim has changed this wording of the city administrator and mayor and stuff. So that's what we were trying to get away from that.
Yeah, so,
And so now it's got stuck back in there. And there's another change in number 2 of level 1. That statement has changed also.
okay, we'll go through that. I think Sherry had a
Something, I
comment.
just wanted to, can I ask about this right now, or is this?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, so on level 3, number 3, number D, where it says,
Okay, 3D, okay, got it.
so why, and it says, as far as that in the city limits,
Doesn't say city limits.
mine does.
Mine
It does
doesn't.
say city limits.
Mine
Who
doesn't.
stuck that in
So
there?
this is just like, we're not reading this, I don't think this is appropriate to even discuss when we don't even have the same information.
Because the original draft has the statement, that D statement says, incidental use of water, including bird bath, garden pools, or pools that serve essential needs of pets, livestock, or animals. There's nothing about city limits. There shouldn't be.
Yeah,
And so this, the one that's in the council packet is wrong.
Yes, my point. That's exactly
It's
what I
wrong.
was trying to point out.
They changed our total verbiage on several places.
So what are we gonna work on?
Well, you need to go through, my opinion, you need to go through the original and compare it to the one that's come down.
The one that came down the first time was in an email from Petra last month. Right after the council meeting, or after our meeting.
after our meeting,
Richard, do you have your emails?
Yep, that was a yep,
Because-
I read lips.
Yeah, I'm here.
Because we're having what city councils put in their packet, or what is in their packet is different than what we have looked at.
Beauty.
Yeah, so Petra sent out some to us after our last meeting last month. And it has draft on it, but so does, but it has different verbiages in the one that she's got to go to the city council as a packet. It's different and it's not correct. The one that we looked at and we're talking about was the one that came out originally in her original email.
Which is the official version.
Well, if the official version is the one that's going to city council, I would vote not to send it. It's too wrong. They've changed some of our,
Yeah, but
you know, and it's gonna hold things up, but I don't know who went through and changed it.
well, but the fact is they changed it and that's what was presented to city council. So I mean, what else?
Has it been presented to city?
It was presented, but they did not act on it because we brought up that there was some inconsistencies.
Yeah.
That's why it got sent back to us. And that's why they asked, you know, that was the reason to hold today's meeting, is so we could go through this, mark up what was not correct.
So I guess we need to get done with public comment first and then we can dive into it, so.
Okay. So that was my public comment. Things
Yeah.
aren't jiving. Can I have your copy to ask him if she'll print that one for me?
I don't think she's got it. She's printing out what's going to city council.
Yes,
But I meant your copy that you have, that, can I have her of the one that you said that Petra sent out?
I guess,
Or
yeah.
Petra sent out, I should say. Petra sheets.
She can put it, I don't have it front and back, but she can. But she- I realize she probably doesn't want to make a bunch of copies, but she should at least make one for Brian and
So how,
here,
3 or 4.
make me one.
want for,
Make 4. Okay. Oh, I had another copy in here, but I don't see the paper.
So, gotta go. All right, so is that the one we're?
Oh, I think I got crew to cover it.
Do this better.
I don't.
Kyle, have you been looking at any of them as far as the drafts and stuff that are being handed out?
Not really. Not really part of the committee anymore, so
Well, you're not.
I haven't been for a couple months. That's why I haven't been.
That's okay.
Well, I didn't know that was.
How did you get out the committee?
Patriot, I believe, like.
Oh,
This is my day, well, it's my days off and they don't wanna pay for it,
Oh,
and I didn't complain.
Committee needs to be aware of that, but
I
that,
thought you guys all knew.
nope.
That's why I haven't been here for
but
a couple months.
but you were appointed by the city council. Be on there. My understanding would be the council would have to make the decision to change that.
That was told a few months ago, at least.
Sorry. Since we're waiting for copies to change the subject, did you guys fix the leak, the sewer issue at the park?
Yes, we,
Traco down there.
yeah, we cut out that section of roots, I'd gotten into it,
Oh,
and there's a hole like probably that big in it. And then whoever years ago wrapped it in shingles to fix it. That didn't work. So we cut out big sections of it and put new pipe in, so it should be good to go for every day.
Is there a leak out by the tank or isn't
By the tank?
by the tanks? Where the new pipe was put in?
well, we're talking about the sewer
At the
leak
park.
blocking at the park. We had last year at Derby Days, it got back. It wasn't pretty, let's just put it that way.
Oh, I think he's talking about that leak that we went out and looked at up by the tanks.
Along
Reservoir.
Reservoir Road?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just, that's not a leak, that's just all the water from all the rain. It does that every year around this time.
Must be a tile that's popped up right there. My son's driveway did the same thing. He put a new driveway in. And in the process of bringing the electric down to the county road, he came across an old orange tile and they just ignored it and they kept on going. So this winter, it blew a great big old hole right beside his driveway and it's
Oh,
running,
did it really?
running a river down his driveway.
Yeah, that's kind of what
And
this
it's,
is like.
you know,
Yeah, this has got a hole about that big
Yeah.
and it's about that deep.
yep.
Well, we dug a bunch of it out, because we were trying to see where
Figure
it
it
was
out.
coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happened out there. So I know it, they can do that, those tile lines can blow like that, so,
It's the same spot every year around the same time.
yeah, somebody's tiles plugged up or blown a hole right there.
Need more shingles.
Yeah.
So while we're nonchalantly talking, YNA and a couple of its steering committees took a trip up to Barney Reservoir. And looking at Barney Reservoir and how it's designed, the piece of paper that's on their signboard shows it at one end, turning into Turner Creek. So we believe that a lot of what Turner Creek is getting is coming out of Barney as an overflow, so to speak, or seepage, or whatever you call it.
I can ask I'll ask my engineer from Warehouser, because I think there's something in between there and the Barney
Yeah.
Reservoir that prevents it from flowing. I don't think they connect.
They don't, yeah, there's a ridge line that,
Somewhere they don't connect, because I asked my husband about that too. Because we work up there all the time.
Well, if you look at their map on the board, it shows that it
This is
runs
what
right
I asked.
into Turner
How many
Creek.
copies did you manage to get, Dr.
Oh, boy.
What I paid for
Are you kidding? What did you have to pay for
25 cents a copy.
5 cents a sheet.
No, I don't know. I gave her a buck. I don't know. I thought it was 5 cents a sheet. 25. Not
them?
paying
Sherry, you don't need to pay for it.
I got it. It's not.
Yeah. Hey, she drives a Cadillac. It's
I
not-
should have taken them in.
My husband worked hard for that
Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Everybody works
All
hard.
those years.
Okay, Richard, where are you at? Did you find that email?
I just got the draft copy that I printed out.
From where did you get it that you printed? Where did you get it from?
which one?
The packet,
Okay, that's,
Look at right at the beginning where it says B. And the last part there, it says the facilities manager of the designation or their designee after consultation with the mayor, if possible, may declare that water usage must be curtailed. Is that what you have? Or you got something else?
my very first one shows upon finding that the municipal water supply system may soon be incapable of providing an adequate water supply for normal usage due to a prolonged drought.
Go to B.
A is the same.
A is the same. Go to B.
Okay. Okay, maybe, yeah, well, it must be curtailed. I saw that, heard that.
In the event, the facility manager or designee after consultation, whatever the word is, with the mayor, if possible, may declare the water usage must be curtailed. Is that what yours says?
Yes,
Okay, you got the right one. There's another one that was in the city council packet to go to city council that is different. It says.
okay,
Says the facility manager or designee after consultation with the city administrator and by declaration of the mayor may declare the water usage must be curtailed. They've changed that whole sentence.
okay. Yeah, mine says with consultation of the city administrator and by declaration of the mayor.
That's not what we had in the original.
Okay,
That city administrator needs to come out, because currently,
We need to stay with this original, it says in
Yeah,
this
but
one.
see, this is before it got sent to legal.
No, this is
No.
after legal.
This is after
This is
legal.
after legal.
Oh, okay.
And then
there's the-
somebody's changed these.
then there was another one that came out after, because somewhere I have the copy that came back from legal, and it does not read what went to council.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So which one's right? The one that talks about the.
The one that you got
declaration of the
copies of.
mayor? Okay.
Because we didn't intend for the city administrator. Because this one, the other one says. with city administrator and by declaration of the mayor. So the facility manager is not gonna make the decision. In this one, correct? Am I reading that right?
And the way we originally sent it was giving the facilities manager and the,
Or designee?
or designee the authority to
Yeah, so this one is,
call it then and there, and then it would go to council or either to,
and the next statement, the C makes the same statement, almost basically word for word. But B is different. On there,
And A was the same.
A was the same. And then D is also, it says on the council packet, it says if the mayor fails or is unable to declare a water emergency, the city council has the right. The ones that we approved are are suggested is the facility manager or designee mayor fails or is unable to declare a water emergency, the city council has the right to do so. So that D statement is also wrong.
What? D?
This one.
No, we had that.
I need the desk.
No, but we had facility manager, not mayor.
Because
the mayor is a-
Manager or their designee / mayor.
Yeah,
I guess that means.
but in the city council packet, it says that.
Yeah, right, that's right.
so C.
C is wrong. C, I think, is word for word the same.
No, because you've got city administrator in there that went to the council packet.
Okay, so that one's wrong too then.
Well, I don't mind adding in the city administrator, but I still want the facilities manager to be the one to.
Yeah. But I'd say let's go through the one that we sent and make sure everything's right in that. That will be the one that we resubmit to council,
Not the one that they've got.
not the one that came out in the packet.
Okay.
Right.
Because we
And so,
haven't even got through 2 lines and we've already found way too many errors.
yeah, because if, I don't know, after we spent all the time and legal spent all the time, someone's gone in and changed the wording.
So let's go through the one that we submitted and it originally came back from legal. Let's make sure that one is the one that we're happy with. And that will be the one we resubmit back to council. That makes sense?
Yes,
Yeah. So my complaint was about this thing, in section C, this is like the level 3.
yeah,
First paragraph, number 1, it says upon declaration of the level 3 water shortage until the time of declaration of water shortage has been rescinded, all voluntary water restriction items listed in the municipal code section B2 will be mandatory. So my proposal is that we change, scratch out all voluntary and say water restriction items listed in municipal code section, whatever, B2. And I think it should just be A and B. I don't,
That's it.
you gotta make a mandatory statement or you won't get any, you won't be able to stop people from using the
Yeah.
water. The first one is voluntary, the level 2 is voluntary. The level
Level
3
3.
is, makes it mandatory for the same things that were voluntary.
yeah, but
But
then
that's
you're
what it
getting the
says.
city checking your toilets and.
There.
But there, it does say this, it does say that.
Telling you to do that stuff.
What's happening? No.
Medical call. Yeah,
Scary.
going through too.
But it's gonna be mandatory that you use biodegradable and disposable dishes. And that you limit your showers for 4 minutes duration. Just don't see,
Yeah,
that's
that
not
seems
right.
cool.
That can't be, you city can't be timing my showers. I'm sorry.
Well, that, you know, I didn't pick that up before, you're right, the mandatory needs to lose some of these statements.
And I would
So let's get back here. I'm going through
That, maybe we should, are we there yet? Do we want to go through the level 2?
let's make sure, so we're happy with everything in the first part, A, B, C, and D as we presented.
Yeah, because it has the facility managers making the decision along with it, the mayor is, so
Okay.
If possible.
if possible, so it's not, yeah, so
We're
I'm,
not waiting a month to go to council and,
no, we're gonna make it, someone's
you
gonna,
happy with that, Rick? All right,
Okay, so first page is done?
level 2 or level 1,
Okay.
1 and 2, do we have anything there that is not?
Okay with me.
yeah, I think it says what we want it to say. And it just gives, this is your awareness that it's, water could be coming short,
Yeah,
need to pay attention,
just wake up.
yeah,
Wake up call.
it's happening, or could be.
So level 2. Let's see.
Shall be encouraged to voluntarily adhere to the following guidelines. I don't have
So
an issue
my
with
thing
the
is the only two you can make mandatory is A and B. I don't,
I'll say watering shall be done between the hours of 6 and 10. Limit water gardens every to minimum necessary. So voluntary, that statement's okay, still, C's okay. D. Diminished running of water while shaving or rinsing dishes, so, well. Limit the use of washing machines, operate, use shower. Limit, collect water. I almost think the biodegradable disposable dishes just needs to get taken out of both of them, but. Maybe it's okay for
It's fine with
voluntary,
me.
but it doesn't need to be there for mandatory. But
I don't, yeah.
I mean, I think we're just giving them people ideas, kind of how to,
voluntary section
in the
maybe,
volunteer, for level 2 is all voluntary.
Yes.
and just suggestions,
We're giving them suggestions on
ways to do it.
ways to conserve.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so that's acceptable.
Adhere to the following.
Now we're getting down to the mandatory.
The mandatory stuff is,
So, and I think, we went, I think what we did, we had a bunch of voluntary stuff under 2. And then because you wanted to have more steps, you wanted to add the watering time and the day.
Yeah,
As I remember.
yeah, so that's, so a lot of, so when we went to level 3, it's mandatory and
I think,
permit the use of water from the city water system from the following, for the following, any of the following purposes.
but you're gonna have to take out some of the, if you're gonna go to a level 3 mandatory, you can't force people to use biodegradable dishes.
yeah, I think
So
we,
let's just start with A and run down through them and see which ones we think we need to
So
take
you're
out.
gonna have to take out what it is that you want out of 2 included in level 3 that's mandatory.
Well, I think we need to take out what we don't want to be mandatory out of these A through
I think
I.
A and I are kind of contradictive.
Well, this is sprinkling or irrigating lawns, grass, or turf, A. So you can't water your
But then it
yard.
says I, watering, sprinkling, irrigating flowers, plants, shrubbery, ground cover, crops, vegetation. I mean, you can do those all, I mean, ground cover could be considered grass if you went to
so you're,
legally.
I
So
think
let's-
you're on the wrong.
No, she's right. She's talking about down here. Let's do B. So you can't wash your sidewalks anymore, that's for mandatory. Power washing is not allowed, washing your trucks or trailers is not allowed. Cleaning and filling, decorating water features is not allowed.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah, wasting water by leaving unattended hoses running. All
I
right,
mean, that seems.
seems, anyway, filling swimming pools, wading pools, hot tubs, tanks, such. Using water for fire, who the heck uses the water from a fire hydrant?
Yeah.
Watering, sprinkling, or irrigating What is, wait a minute, am I in the wrong spot?
Have
Number 3 doesn't have. It doesn't have that in there. The using
dishes.
dishes stuff, no, they removed those.
So,
No,
so I think on the, if we go back to 3, item 1. If we just strike that, all voluntary water restriction items listed in municipal code 2 shall be mandatory. We're listing the mandatories over here in 3.
Yeah, because
Q, A
they
through
took out
I.
the crazy statements like the flushing your toilet and your
Yeah.
shower and your
Using the paper plates.
biodegradable stuff.
so I totally agree with that.
So we
But the
eliminate,
thing is that I thought you wanted to do the watering at certain times and certain days.
it-
Well, that's in the involuntary section, yes.
but
so in
it's
the-
also listed in I3
Mandatory and on 3.
is 6 to 10. Do we list odd and even
Okay, you can just,
In mandatory,
and mandatory? We
I
don't,
think that you're not supposed to be watering, your sprinkling or irrigating your lawn or grass or turf at all.
no, you're still, you can sprinkle a 6 to 10
But that's,
in level 3.
yeah, but so I'm thinking that they're meaning that A and I, that I is meant for your flower baskets and
Garden
stuff,
and-
garden and not
yeah,
meant for grass.
one's lawn.
But then shouldn't it also say on odd and even days? Because
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's,
say anything about that.
I think we need to add that 2A needs to, from 2A needs to come over into 3. Be added. So we have that odd and even.
Yes.
Or to go down there with I, it means that you're saying put that one in. I.
Yeah, we could add it with 6 to 10 on odd and evens.
Yes, I would say use that same time frame or the odd and even for that 6 to 10 to water. But I don't know what they mean by ground cover.
I know.
I mean, it really, you don't want to irrigate crops. You're gonna let farmers irrigate their crops, really? Crops, vegetation, or trees.
We just change that to say gardens
Watering, sprinkling, or irrigating flowers, plants, shrubbery,
and gardens.
gardens instead of ground cover and crops.
Yes.
All right, that's what gardens.
That make more sense.
Well, does that mean you can water crops?
No, we're gonna cross out ground cover and crops, because that would make the little marijuana place out of town that wants to water their plants with
Yeah.
city water, that they can't do it. They have a permit to irrigate out of the river. Why would you?
It's not good water.
You could be pulling it, like getting a pump and pulling it out of there.
And so
So,
leave the 6 to 10, but make it an odd and even statement in
Yeah.
that statement.
Yeah.
okay, so what are you gonna do with the level 2, A and B? Are you gonna take those out or leave?
We're adding level 2 A and B into I on 3. We're just gonna update I on 3.
Okay, good.
And we'll take out
Add,
on level 3.1 that all voluntary restriction items and listed in municipal code shall become mandatory.
Just take out all of one.
We're taking that whole line out.
Okay, good. I'll go for that.
Yep. that's
That
good.
way there's no confusion.
yeah,
Yeah,
That makes sense?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. We're getting in front. Do we need to have in there use fire hydrants for only firefighting or public emergencies?
I think that's illegal, isn't it, to even?
Well, this is allowed to open them.
I mean,
And they've got that in the other one, don't they have it in,
Unless it's contractors do.
there are some contractors that were hooking on, right?
but
There
they have-
was,
Well, we have gauges.
But they have to have meters and get a permit from the city to do that.
Well, we can
That
scratch
seems
H,
like
that's fine.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to leave it in there, but you can take it out because to me, not everybody can turn on a fire hydrant.
I think that's telling people they have the right to turn on fire.
What do you think, Greg?
Any other time. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Unmute.
I would think I would leave it in.
Leave it in just so nobody,
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, they
It doesn't
could
hurt
have
to have
the
it
city
there.
go,
Maybe
I can-
unauthorized people or something like that.
It says other than firefighting or public
Oh, okay.
emergency, so it
Okay.
does say that.
so they can
And that's
say,
not in the voluntary.
would a public emergency be, I need to water my garden?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. It could be.
That's what I mean,
Yeah, I just,
I don't see any problem leaving it in, you know?
Yeah.
just add, should we add something to that to say,
I mean, they're never authorized to open.
no.
Yeah. So I don't even know why, yeah.
Why it's even there.
The only reason I would say leave it in is because if you had a contractor that was latching onto that to do stuff with, that would eliminate them from being able to do that.
Or if you lived in New York and you were hot, you'd go to your local fire hydrant and open it up for the kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
just add something there as authorized?
Yeah. Oh, I don't care. I'm okay with,
Or we could just leave it as is?
No unauthorized or,
Well, you're not supposed to use it,
Yeah.
period.
I
So
don't even know why it's in there
Yeah, it
then.
should always be part of the.
they don't have a period at the end of their statement either.
Go ahead, do it.
They need a period.
Thoughts, Rick, comments?
Leave it in. He was leave it in.
Leave it in, okay,
Let's go to the next one.
moving on. So we're good with through that.
Yes.
Now we're to the exceptions.
So the exceptions to the rules. Are there any exceptions to the rules?
Water in highest fields organized to place subject to determination by the facility manager.
But they should be under the same scrutiny of only being able to use every other day or something. They shouldn't be able to water every day, I don't think.
well, I mean, the way we wrote it, it would be up to the facilities manager, right?
Yeah. And they have different fields to water, so maybe they would water one field one day. and another.
That sufficient water is available for the purpose
Yeah.
anyway, so that pretty much
So the-
says it right there.
Yeah, that way we can.
Yeah,
You can
it's
say-
Day by day, say, okay, you can't use any, it's off. That
a-
way
or
we're not-
you, or
We're
you
not
can,
pigeonholed into what this is, we can.
Okay.
so they would, so Public Works would have the
Yeah.
ability to say, you've got 3,000 gallons today, or you got 1,000 gallons tomorrow, or
Yep,
that way. I think, again, we did that so that it kind of gave
An option.
an option for Public Works could. That way they would know they basically have to get permission from Public Works on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that way they weren't running 25,000 gallons a day or whatever. So we're good with A.
These,
He's just something
Whether that is,
legal guy.
if somebody construction wise was making, but
best.
again, if they have a water truck, they can go somewhere else to fill their water truck. It would not be in the city of Yamhill.
Again, they would be regulated by
Yeah.
Public Works. We don't have any garbage trucks.
No.
Well, yeah, we talked about that before. I mean, that one could go as far as I'm concerned. I don't care about that.
Do we need garbage trucks in there, Rick?
We might have garbage trucks.
You never know what's coming down the pipe, so.
It's such as, it's a general example as, so I don't think it hurts to leave it.
Okay.
And then the D, incidental use of water that serve essential needs of pets, livestock, or animals. And the ones, we just need to leave it like that.
Yeah, we don't want the city.
You don't want a statement with the, makes the outside people or the city people different than everybody else. Because outside users should be the same format exactly as this is.
And that's what we were trying to do is
Yes,
the same across the board.
yes. There, I mean, they need to follow voluntary and everything, so.
Halfway through.
Moving on, we might make it.
Level 11.4, declaration mandatory restrictions, illegal acts.
Okay, so in number one, we gotta scratch the reference to E1. I mean, it
That
isn't
making it
even-
mandatory.
E1 isn't even the correct reference, but anyway, scratch that whole one.
All voluntary listed in code 1 mandatory.
And then just have where the restrictions of level 4 water shortage conflict.
Yeah, that's
With-
the
C, just
Same.
C only.
same statement that we got rid of in that other paragraph.
So we're gonna lose B up there, it'll just be C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. See,
So we're on 2B, watering high use athletic fields.
no, we're on 5. Water shortage declaration of
Oh,
mandatory
okay. We
description.
skipped off.
One, 4.
No, that's, we got it. That's next.
I was on, I thought we were on 4. We were just.
We're in 4.
Level 4.
Oh, yeah, we're at 4.
Level 4, number
Number
2.
1 and number 2. So they took away watering flowers and everything in this one.
So I think we need to take off ground cover of crops and put gardens.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Red pen's dying already.
You took out B altogether, right? Watering high use athletic fields?
In 4,
Can't do it.
they can't do it at all, so that would stay in there, so in 3, Public Works can allot them so much water a day. In level 4, they have no water,
Oh, I see, okay.
so it shuts off athletic fields altogether if we go to
So basically, nothing outside. You can't water.
Yeah, nothing, no flowers, no nothing unless you're gonna go to Gaston.
or McMinnville or
Yeah.
wherever.
Or an outside, someone with outside water source.
And then it's got the same exceptions.
What are other animals?
And where do you see that, what number?
Number C, where you get into the pets, livestock.
But they took
and-
that out on the previous one.
Or other animals.
But then this is,
No, we didn't.
I'm on
No.
4 down on C.
yeah, you're on,
Yeah.
I haven't got there yet. Exceptions to level, so the exceptions to level 4 still are safety concerns, dust control, that's still acceptable.
Yeah,
Animal health and welfare public, from frequent vehicle, okay, that one's still, and then incidental use of water, including bird bath and garden ponds or pools that serve essential needs of pets, livestock, or animals, so you can still water animals.
Mhm. I'm just wondering what they consider what's other animals.
Maybe someone's got a lawn.
there's
That's
like,
livestock. I don't know what other animals.
there's like 30 some different domestic animals classified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just,
Ferrets.
Yeah, I mean,
Alligators.
So, yeah.
if you read through the state law,
So on level 4, then we can't water our gardens anymore.
level 4 is no gardens,
No, nothing. Okay.
no nothing.
that means that it's imminent, that the water's gonna stop running at some point.
So, if we would have had these this year, the worst we would have got would have been to a level 3, I think. You think, Kyle? So that would have still allowed some garden watering.
Yeah,
And I think that's what we were trying to do here is kind of spread those levels out a little bit, so it weren't quite so drastic. If that makes sense.
yeah.
So we're good there, moving on to level 5. We get to this point,
Everybody just moved.
we get to this point, the world's coming to an end.
I would say it means that there's been a major break, something,
Major, I mean, you could be looking at like major earthquakes
Yeah.
or,
some,
So in one, you gotta take out the reference to the voluntary
oh,
part B again.
Yep.
yep, thank you, Paul.
correct that. And we need to take out,
In the second sentence, you need to take out.
That B,
B,
B needs to come out of there and just C, or D.
C or D. Here just talks about enforcement,
Yeah, Romans, that's all right,
that we will enforce.
yeah. You know, then this statement to large commercial and industrial customer stuff, that statement in all reality should have been further up in the. Because most of them are being responsible enough to curtail when it first starts to go on. I mean, I know the mushroom plant did last year. I don't know what else they have that's high commercial people.
If Fruit Hill ever starts doing anything again, but.
Oh,
they haven't
yeah.
done
So where's
anything.
Little Kinsey and all the other wineries along Blossom Road? Where do they fall in
Willa Kinsey's the only winery we have on.
on the line?
Yep.
Okay.
They're not, but they're only using for,
Supposed to be using it for the house and whatever.
yeah, they're not using, so they have,
During
they have
harvest,
their,
they do.
They're rinsing their equipment with it.
I mean, at harvest, they're using
what size line do they have going up?
oats and.
We have a 4-inch that goes up there and then there's reservoirs up there and their water comes, somewhere's in that conglomeration and stuff, their water leaves. There's a bunker that has, the flow that goes on up to the reservoirs and then it comes back down and we use gravity to push it all the way down and around up Gielan. But in that bunker, their water leaves there somewhere, because that's where we read the meter.
They, I know, I mean, I.
They do
I
use
used it.
Yeah, they use it
Thousands
for
of
washing
gallons.
equipment, and then they've already called me last year. I called them and told them, and so they were trying to figure out what they were gonna do differently if it got to that. But it fixed itself before they harvested. That's usually, their harvest is late enough that it wasn't really an
Sometimes,
issue.
yeah, just depends.
Wasn't an issue, but, they're on my list to call and talk to on our district, because they need to get a little prepared if they need to haul water.
The big one would be Fruit Hill.
Yeah,
They run, what, like 800 gallons?
They would usually go up to 800, so they would probably run 400 or 500 gallons a minute, but honestly, only 1 year that I was here that they were running, so they haven't ran since.
Yeah, they haven't run it,
So
and I
it's
know
hard to
they've
say.
taken,
But they can go through a lot of water.
yeah. So that's the biggest, that would be your biggest commercial in Yamhill.
Yeah.
I try to think what else is commercial.
Besides the mushroom.
Yeah, and that's on the
Mushroom.
district, so.
Yeah, and that is a district deal too, and
There's the Misty Mountain mushrooms is straight off our line.
off your line,
Yeah,
yeah, off the reservoirs,
it's right after the plant,
right after the plant.
just before the reservoir.
Yeah.
So are you saying that that district doesn't have to comply with?
No, they will.
this? Oh, okay.
Everybody that has, am I taking this correctly? Everybody that's attached to the city water line, one way or the other, has to follow these rules.
Everybody using city. water.
Yes, everybody,
Okay.
including the ones that are out of town that don't have a district, they're just on their own thing,
Yeah.
so. Restricted or limited residential use, limited activities which require or may require the need of water supplies, so. Well, yeah, you don't have fireworks, okay, we got that.
I think C, we need to change to facilities manager, not public works superintendent.
Yeah. That would fall in line with what we've already got in everything. And the city administrator, right now, they don't even have one, so that statement's kind of silly.
But
For future.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're looking for one.
City administration.
Oh, well, that's your facility manager,
Well, it should say city administrator or mayor.
maybe.
Well, actually, that'd be city administrator / mayor / city council.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep, you're right.
yeah.
That makes sense. Rick? Yay, nay? Okay. And I mean, if something changes, it wouldn't be hard for him to go through and put city administrator in if that,
Yeah,
I mean, if you think you were gonna go that way, we could put city administrator / mayor on all those.
yeah. You could.
Or what?
Or you could just do.
Well, I don't know,
City administrator / mayor / council. I mean, that pretty much.
Yeah, it covers it.
That way, if anything changes in the future, we don't have to redo them.
yeah,
That makes
Probably the
sense.
smartest thing.
to make it follow clear through on every.
So I'll put city administrator, mayor,
City council,
city council,
yeah,
/
yeah, and so that would start up here
Let's start on page 1
on
and
A, where it says mayor, it's gonna say city administrator /
mayor / city
Yeah,
council.
okay, perfect.
That way it's consistent all the way through.
Yep, yep.
Good, Rick?
Come on, Rick.
Pay attention. We're on a roll.
It's faster than unmuting.
Okay.
So the next one just states that if you're not paying attention, it doesn't give you an excuse not to get a ticket, right?
Yeah, that's the way I read that.
Right.
Ignorance isn't gonna be an option.
Well, yeah,
Then we talk about in enforcement, it goes into, you're gonna get a warning letter.
mhm. Warning, and then a class C. Third is a class B. When do they start adding money to their tickets?
And then this is, I think you'd have to get into their penalty,
Mhm.
somewhere in their ordinance that talks about
Penalties.
fee schedules and. I'd have to do that.
But that's hopefully,
But then this would fall back where the water districts would have to implement some kind of,
yeah,
because if the water district is not in compliance, the city's going to
shut the whole district off.
give you a warning letter.
Mhm.
If you don't comply, you're gonna get a citation, so you're gonna get something there. And then shut off, so.
Yep.
That's
So that
where
would mean that your district users are gonna have to control their users' use. to a
they're,
certain
they're gonna have to control their, yeah,
Because I know Pfeiffer shut those other people off, or not shut them off, but told them they couldn't water their marijuana plants.
Well, and make note to them that you know how much water they're using. I mean. you
Well,
have-
yeah, we do.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's, you know,
You
and,
can tell by the gallons you're using if you're complying or not.
and I,
I think we need to add in here on enforcement, just says residential / water districts.
okay,
Where are we?
On
On which-
enforcement on A and B,
Yep,
you know, it says shall be served upon the resident. I think it needs to be resident /
Water
water
district.
district.
because you're not gonna, as a city, they're not gonna be going after an individual on a water district. I would say water district / outside water users, so you get the ones that are not part of the district.
Residential,
What are we changing?
Or can you just put outside water users? Or,
We are grouping them in as city limit people all the way through.
yeah,
So I don't
the,
know if you would need that or not,
Oh, okay.
either way. I
oh, you mean, so the guys, people out between the treatment plant and the reservoir, or you're considering them a city user?
Yeah, because I think that's what you guys were saying earlier, the city limits part.
yeah, well, I'm just thinking,
Any connection,
Any connection.
anybody that's
Yeah, just any
connected to the
connection.
water.
but the enforcement notice is gonna go to the resident, but if you're an outside water
It's not
district,
gonna go to a resident.
it needs to go to the water district. So we put resident / water district.
That would take care of it.
That would take care of the enforcement. We know everybody's who's gonna get notified. And then it's up to the water district to enforce their own
Yes.
rules and regulations, or whole district gets shuts us off and I guess they can battle it out.
So A and B, it's also in resident / water district.
Water district.
Is there any other sentence where it has resident in it previous to enforcement?
I don't believe so. I think everything else
What
is,
is,
Because if there is, it should say,
in number A, water shortage of mandatory restriction of legal acts. 2A says restricted or limited residential use.
dealing with / water.
water district, yep,
Okay.
Yep. That's my point exactly.
Yeah,
And
Now, which one's that?
are we in the?
under E,
Okay.
2, A. Yeah, you gotta learn how to read these, it's got in. A says restricted or limited residential use. We're gonna add outside.
What I'll do is I'll go through here, do a search for residential.
Okay.
Anywhere it says residential, I'll put / water district.
Water district, yep, good deal.
That work?
Are we down to penalties yet?
Yeah, well, the penalties are kind of their guide, I don't think we have.
Well, but it mentions the city recorder, so we're gonna have to
Oh,
cut that out.
no, because the city recorder is the one that is imposing, right?
Well, it depends, if it's a city, if they go to a city administrator, that would be,
We don't have a city.
Administrator / recorder,
Yeah,
just
um,
to cover all bases.
mayor, city council.
Yeah,
let's see.
Because the city recorder has not been mentioned in here anytime except for in that sentence right there.
so right now we have none.
I don't think we have one.
Can you just make it city representative?
City official?
Yeah, something like that.
City, imposed by the city. That's it.
The city recorder, well, that, yeah,
Yeah, that works.
city,
By the city
Take out the word.
take out the word recorder
or
And
council.
council.
or council. Is it,
Just put
Just put
So
by the
city-
city.
by the city or council?
Well,
Well, the city, the council is the city.
Yeah.
So just take out take out recorder or council.
Imposed by the city.
Imposed by the city, that way
Yep.
they can determine who's gonna do that. Okay. Use fine. Last one, that's
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah. So my question is, Brian, when you get done, you can, I guess, send us all a copy of what you've done. But how do we make sure that this is what actually gets put in the council packet?
well,
Because obviously we failed the first time.
I'd like to go over this again and just note all the changes that we made so that we know what we're talking about.
What I can do is I can get these updated. Probably by tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, but then we gotta,
And get them out. I mean, what we were trying for is to get this out to the council.
My goodness, you're just a busy body.
It has been going all day long. Quiet.
So did you make the changes as we went?
I did, but I was just gonna zoom through them and make sure we got.
What I'll do is I'll go through and update these. I'll try and get this out in the morning. And I'll highlight
The changes.
with the different colors, the changes. And what we deleted. And then. Might try and get it done yet tonight.
Well, how about if you don't even, if you just write it up the way we would present it to council,
That's what he's doing.
But it's gonna.
but don't highlight the deletions or.
Well, he can take the highlights out real simple.
Yeah, I can highlight that.
It just gives,
For our purpose, I can show make sure that we got
Yeah, you-
everything.
And put the date on top of it.
Yeah, a date.
Yeah, I'm gonna date this,
Edition 1,
you know, I can
Put a date.
through it.
so that we can't, sure they're
Say,
wrong,
yeah.
because,
There's 3 of them going around, that's what's happened.
yeah, well, I mean, I guess if we're gonna put the time and effort into going through these like we're doing, our version is what should be submitted to city council in a packet, not
Yeah.
what someone else has set and done.
You should be able to insert a revision date and revision number in the footer of each page.
There you go,
Yeah,
let's do that.
and
Good
I
idea.
will do that. Who knows what revision we're on?
Well, obviously.
We'll put.
It's a good thing we determined that at the beginning of the meeting.
I will date this today as,
First revision, or,
It's a second, actually.
Technically,
Third.
10 or whatever.
101. Shows we've been working.
well, yeah,
Anything else that we need to,
I think the rest of it just needs to get tabled for the next meeting.
So,
this was the only thing on the agenda for today was to get through this. I guess we ought to have a motion to submit this as amended to
I'll
the
make a
council.
motion to submit the water conservation regulations amended as of today's date.
I second it.
5, 2.
22 at 3:25.
PM.
4:25.
Oh, it is 4:25 already. Oh my God.
16:25, let's get.
Oh, no, that just confuses me.
We're doing military hours now.
Okay.
Vote, roll call.
Yeah, hey, aye, whatever.
Mullen, aye.
Jensen, aye.
Ulrich, aye.
Ulrich, aye. All right,
Yay.
we're gonna call that passed.
So is our next meeting the 31st?
Next meeting is the 31st, and we will try and cover that list of things that's been on the agenda for.
So what is gonna happen with city council approving these pieces that you've given to them for 3 months? And they're still not getting done.
Actually, we're on the 5th month.
Yeah,
That-
in
that-
January, yeah.
Say somebody should go to city council
And they're-
Who doesn't go to city? I mean, this group is at every dang meeting where there's possible. I don't
That is
understand
on-
why,
That is on my list to ask them again.
okay?
Because Jason said he hadn't heard anything back on anything
So
that,
they've approved to move forward on the conservation and the recommendations that we provided, but
They haven't done it.
there is, in talking with Jason, there's been
Crickets.
no
Actually.
approval for him to contract with.
So Kyle, you know, with mentioning this before about the leakage, the process of looking for all these leaks and,
leak detection.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
right now is a pretty hard time of year to look for leak detections, other than if you got meters that are on.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do they'll run things through the lines and they can find them even when it's raining usually.
Yeah,
so.
it's a little more high
Yeah,
tech
yeah,
than
they got
just
advanced ways. of
waiting
doing it.
for a puddle to.
Send the little mouse through the tunnel. And
That's
the meter up at the treatment plant, the discharge meter has not been
Calibrated,
calibrated or upgraded, so.
that's thousands of dollars.
Did you get what you were looking at for your filtration stuff? Has that been done yet?
We've got the contract going and we just gotta wait for all the material and the supplies to get together, all that, because especially right now with everything, supply chain, so
Yeah.
we don't have a date yet, but it's in the process.
But do you think with this leak detection, that it would be a priority in the sense that it could, finding a bunch more leaks could cause us not to be such a panic of getting water somewhere else, not that we don't need to keep working at that, but not making it sound like the sky is falling tomorrow, you know?
And I think they're trying to get multiple quotes for the conservation plan.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
I
you
just,
the
you know,
best to go through.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to do besides question them, I guess.
Do you have the money to calibrate the meter?
Right now, we're over budget.
Yeah, probably not.
And it's honestly, you're never gonna get it spot on.
Mhm.
That's wishful thinking.
in public works, they're over budget.
Our water is.
$404 so far.
For,
I don't know the whole budget, but we're over budget. Our lawyer fees have been crazy, our engineering, and
I'm curious to see the budget.
Is
Aren't you
anything
the-
else?
I understand.
I printed a copy out last night, went through it,
Well, you don't have that's another.
not the proposed budget, yeah.
That's what I,
But I figured they're $404 in the hole so far. And the police chief has used 82% of his budget. And we're only at 3/4.
July.
Into March.
You got-
May, June.
You got 3 more months though.
you got May and June, 2 more months.
2 months.
Yeah, well, this was figured last month.
I know they had a lot of legal fees.
Yep.
So was anything more thought about having, because talking about the meters needing, everybody's meter needing to be replaced, about having the homeowners pay for their own meters?
About having the homeowners.
Yeah, I mean, I brought that up. It's like,
Never heard of that.
well, I'm not opposed to that. I'm thinking it's gonna be $250 per household. Whoever owns the house is gonna be, I just think, we don't have any money. We gotta start coming up with some
Well, and that-
ideas to.
And I think that's where we've talked about when we get into rates and start looking at rates,
Mhm.
you know, figure out what that meter costs per year or to replace, what the lifespan, if it's a 20-year lifespan, then let's say in 20 years, it costs $300. Divide that by the 20 years and, you know, part of your water bill is
Replacing your meter. But how do you, then you got someone in the office has to make sure that that money gets set aside into
And,
it.
and it's not that hard to do when it comes in. If you have the right accounting software, when it comes in, it
Shoots it off.
shoots it off.
But it should be on, 5 years even. I mean,
Probably,
equipment is equipment. I mean, not just a meter. There's other pieces of equipment
I mean,
throughout that.
You've got a water plant that at some point in time will have to be upgraded or
Right.
replaced or, you know, who knows, by the time we do that, $10 million or more.
Carlton's
50 million,
redoing theirs, I wonder what their number is.
$50 million, so,
Well, I mean, it's way beyond anything that the city can afford.
but
But at least having some kind of a bucket of money that is going towards that direction that instead of just, you know.
Jason been talking about set money aside for like pumps, repairs
Yeah.
and replacement, so that in 5 years, okay, we've been saving that money throughout the years, now it's there, it's time to
now
do
we
it.
have money to
And
do
then we
it.
start doing it again and again,
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's just.
Well, that's what.
You gotta have
It's like running a household. You have a net, a net fall.
you gotta have a 20-year plan.
Well, if you look at the rate study that was done, whatever, it was done in 18 or
It was here and then it went.
Oh, left, yeah.
I mean, that was like a big deal, and I'm sure the city spent a lot of money on it, but it seems to me like you gotta do that again.
Do what?
The rate study, and the thing you should be able to do that almost daily. There should have a computer program that you can just plug the numbers in and tell you, because your power changes, your chemical change, you
Yeah,
know.
but that's only maintenance, how are you gonna do all this infrastructure repair?
Well, and that all needs to
Well, you
be-
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
I
Gotta
mean,
be
that's the
figured
bottom
in,
line.
so-
It isn't gonna happen overnight, but at least start having a plan.
Yeah, what did McMinnville say? 50 years.
They're 50 years out on their plan.
50 years.
They have a 100-year plan even, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they have 100.
You know, and they,
It feels like we haven't had any plan for years. It's just, well.
well, that's,
We got a 10-day plan.
It's.
Yeah, 10 days.
that's the difference of the structure. I mean, they, their commission is structured to only look out for Mac Water and Light.
Right.
And they're not, and so they're focused on what we need to do to improve our water system or how often we need to update.
Right.
They're not after what our police
They
force
got all
costs and what the sewers, doing, or, I mean, they're structured to,
They got all these
Focus.
people working on it.
But they have,
And they
they
said-
have a commission, I mean,
The
there's all the
commission, some of
different
those-
entities that. you
yeah,
know,
some of those commissioners they have are volunteer. They've been on it for 30 years, so you don't get a change in venue every time you change a person.
Yeah.
It stays consistent
Yeah.
to, and that's like Derby Day, that's why it works, because it's consistently done the same way every year. And when you start changing things around, you either lose people or whatever, I mean, so.
But there, yeah, definitely seems like we've been short on a plan, strategic ideas for where the city's going and.
I think that's part of what this committee's trying to do.
Well, maybe we'll get to
Well,
that
that's why
place.
we need an administrator, because then you got somebody that's paid to do that, and they're gonna be there as long as they pay.
Mhm. Well,
Just finding somebody that can do that job.
you need someone that's in,
Well,
that has a care for Yam Hill, not just that this is my job and I'm gonna make this much money every month.
That's our planning, city planner too, it's been the same situation, if somebody hired doesn't live here, it's like, oh, well, these are my recommendations and. The council's gone with them, and I feel like maybe not always on best interest of the city of
You
Yamhill.
know, it's easy to go online and copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's,
Needs to fit Yam Hill.
you gotta look at, it's like the rate studies for Yam Hill. Yeah, just because we're not the lowest or the highest, we're kind of in between. Is that really what we need to run this facility?
Yeah, well, I think rates need to go up. I know it costs money and we've been,
Well,
I know nobody wants to hear that, but it is the reality.
but
It
what-
doesn't have to be astronomical,
The,
but
the information Jason's given us, we're really not taking in enough money to pay,
Now,
we're about
Now-
right, yeah. So,
so we're behind. All right, any questions, comments?
well, thanks for your time,
Remarks?
guys.
yep, thank you.
I'm good.
Have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
We'll convene again at the end of May.
Last day of the month. Our log truck left the yard this morning, with someone else driving it down the road.
The other one,
No, just one,
this one, so you still got one left?
that one go. I'm just happy about the one that left. Yes.